right.
Yeah,
Bob.
just like yelling "a-hole" the guy who did it.
Yes, thank you. By the way, Bob, we're nerds. There's no hearing today. I know we, of course, are sending our love and light to the people in Florida, but oh my God, right?
I know, including my friend
to
Buzz Burbank, who's right there in the path.
Yeah, I know.
Of the hurricane.
I know.
Yeah. Fortunately, I think the hurricane is missing Buzz Burbank. I think the hurricane has said, Hurricane Ian is like, you know what? I'm not screwing with Buzz Burbank.
Not America's newsman. No.
Yeah, we're going to shoot into Florida south of Buzz Burbank and spare Buzz Burbank. So I'm going to mention Buzz Burbank a couple more times.
All right. I think
did I mention I'm talking about Buzz Burbank? Yeah.
All right. So let's. But we were I was saying the Bob Cesca rule is just so in effect about Trump always makes things worse for Trump. This $3 million, it's the only person he's ever paid up front. It's the only actual lawyer, right? And the guy, right? He's just, I think the special master thing is not working out the way he thought it would, right? And so.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you can imagine those conversations that Donald Trump has with his attorneys. His attorneys say, well, here's how the rules work. Here's how we do things, in the real world. You take this step and then you take this step and then you have to argue this way. And then you hope that the judge agrees with you and says, no, that's not how it's done. Chris Keiss, I'm going to get Christina Bobb back. You better watch out. I'm going to get Mark Kasowitz back here. And so he's constantly threatening, keeping people off balance, refusing to pay them. This is what Donald Trump has always done. He's a pain in the ass to work with. No one wants to work with him.
Yeah.
So he's got to go fishing for whatever lawyers he can find out of the back of the phone book or wherever. So he's getting the best legal representation that will agree to represent him.
Yeah.
And that's not very good.
We just covered in the first segment about, Tucker Carlson and Trump, doing this conspiracy theory about Biden blew up the pipeline. And here's how Russia could retaliate. I mean, they're so actively on Putin's side. It is just astounding. And it just, I couldn't wait to get you on today because, of course, the Edward Snowden thing, I was just like, oh, my God. Bob Cesca, I tried to tell you how long. You just said, right? Matt Gaetz said Joe Biden should pardon Snowden. And you said Republicans support the theft and exposure of national security secrets. Period.
Yeah.
And how long ago how long ago did we say this? That Snowden is a traitor. He is. Okay.
9 years. It's been 9 years. It'll be 10 years coming up. This coming up summer in June, I believe it is, when the first story Glenn Greenwald dropped happened. And so this is not surprising to those of us who were following the story closely with a critical eye back in 2013.
Yeah.
When especially, and I wrote a piece about this back in 2013 about how as soon as Edward Snowden was shepherded from Hong Kong, where he had a birthday pizza party at the Russian consulate, he was taken by WikiLeaks attorneys. See, all these names are so appropriate now. They have a new patina of weirdness about them after the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
And so he's shepherded by WikiLeaks attorneys to Moscow, where while, camping out in the Moscow airport, he hires Russian attorney Anatoly Kucherena. I think that's how you pronounce his last name, Kucherena. And Anatoly Kucherena was a lawyer for the FSB, for the Russian FSB. And those of us who have been following Trump Russia all along, at the very least watching the Rachel Maddow show, we all know what the FSB is. The FSB is the modern day version of the KGB.
Yeah.
And one of their attorneys is the attorney who represented Edward Snowden in Moscow in 2013 when he was there in the airport. So this is no surprise to any of us that he is being offered Russian citizenship by Vladimir Putin.
Yeah. Well, one of your tweets is like Rachel Maddow's opening segment. It goes on and on, but it's very interesting. You said Putin's busy 10 years, Snowden 2013, invasion of Crimea 2014, Trump 2015 to present, Western social media 2015 to present, Brexit 2016, Le Pen 2017 and 2022 unsuccessful, invasion of Ukraine 2022, and just the fact that we continue to have. I don't know what else to call them, but traitors, like Tucker Carlson actively rooting for Putin and Russia over the United States.
Well, when the checks keep clearing, I guess that's why. I think that's, in fact, probably why. And I want to bear in mind, too, that some experts that I've talked to about incorporating Edward Snowden into this timeline of Putin effery, for lack of a better term. I know Malcolm Nance, for example, doesn't necessarily agree that Putin. You know what? Actually, I think Malcolm Nance agrees with me on Putin being part of this timeline of Vladimir Putin screwing with the West. And it kind of makes a lot of sense when you stack that up with what happened in 2014 with the invasion of Crimea right after the Sochi Olympics, and then on and on Donald Trump in 2015 and continuing on through present day and so on and so on. This is all part of Vladimir Putin messing with the West and making sure that we're all screaming at each other so that he can soften us up for, more and more disinformation.
Yeah.
That's why I was so surprised when he invaded Ukraine again.
Yeah.
Because I thought his operation was going to be exclusively what Donald Trump calls the cyber. I thought it was just going to be the cyber. And so
not to be confused,
wrong on that,
not to be confused with the nuclear.
Yeah, that's
the nuclear is so important to me.